Up, Fit Fam? How you guys doing this morning? Okay, so grab your mats, and you might need a yoga block, something to sit on. We got some pancake stretching to do. We're going to be working on the adductors and basically, excuse me, the hips. So let's get warm. Oh, I got my yoga block here. Keep your coffee handy. Also, you're going to need that. And cheers. Well, let's just start with some cars. Okay, everything's going to be seated today. So here's what I want you to do. You're going to grab ankle, grab around your what is this called? Your thigh, and block your knee here. And I want you to just start nice and easy with some cars for your ankles, please. So 3 each direction, nice and smooth. Grip the shin and make sure you're irradiating. Cars are very ground level. If you haven't watched some of the intro videos, I highly recommend you check those out. Also, the YouTube channel has more in-depth walkthroughs of why cars are so awesome, controlled articular rotations, and why we use them to warm up and in between sets. We want to create neurological connection between mind, body, so that we can move well through maximum range. Okay, so we're just going to go right side ankle, knee, hip, and then left side ankle, knee, hip. Okay. So for our knee, what we're going to do is find that tibial play, right? And you've got a nice contrast between my pasty legs and the darker ground, so you can see things moving. And we want this tibial play. We want to irradiate through that. And then from here, once we have that, what I like to do is I'm going to lean back, and you can hold your leg if you want, but I don't like how the arm blocks. So I move my hand, and I'm going to start in external rotation. I'm irradiating, then heel goes to hip, internally rotate, and then extend as high as you can without actually locking the knee out. Externally rotate, flexion, internally rotate, extension, external flexion, internal extension. And now we've got flexion and external rotation, and I want you to flip that script. So we're extending, then internally rotate, inflection. Externally rotate, extension, internal flexion. One more time, external, extension, internal flexion. Huzzah. All right, so for this next one, we're going to be just on our sides. And we're going to be hanging out. Hey, what's up, Burt Reynolds? This is the hip that we're working, this top hip. So I'm going to come down all the way on my side. I'm going to move sideways here so you can kind of see what's going on. And I'm going to bend this bottom knee just a tad to give myself a little bit more of a base. And here's what I'm going to do. Pretend that your back and your front are encased in two panes of glass, right? So you're squished up here, and we're irradiating. I want you to drag that foot up and bring the knee up as high as you can. Then we're going to abduct, open the hip as much as you can. Keep this glued down. Then we're internally rotating. We're just doing a hip car from the ground. And then go back to extension, kicking back as hard as you can, and then park the knee side by the bottom knee. Then we go back into extension. Try to keep this glued down. Abduction while we externally rotate, turning that knee back, up, around, and down, and that's one. So we're blocking everything out by laying on the ground, right? It makes it pretty easy. It's a lot less complex than when we're standing up. Let's keep this rolling. Irradiate, bring that hip up. Knee goes up, around, internally rotate into extension, park the knee. Extend, externally rotate, bring it back and down. There's two. One more time. Flexion, abduction, internally rotate into extension, park it, and down, right back where you came from, and very nice. Good stuff. So let's start on the left side. We've got our ankle here, grip underneath the thigh, block the shin so it's not moving, and we're scraping that jaw. I don't care if you start externally rotation. I don't care if you start internally rotating, counterclockwise, clockwise, whichever anatomical direction you want. As long as you get 3 to 5 and you're irradiating through the movement, you're moving just your ankle, and you're working the largest range possible. Okay? I'm going to switch directions. I think that was 5, something like that. When I get to talking, I forget how many reps I've done. I think that's 3, and that's 4. One more time, and awesome. Good stuff. Okay, so now we're on to this tibial shelf, this kneecap. And let's not kneecap, it's tibial shelf. Sorry. So we're internally, externally rotating, external, internal. Make sure we've got that play and get the most amount of range as possible. Now I'm going to lift my leg up. I'm going to come back and just lean onto my kickstands here. Externally rotate and irradiate. Flexion, internally rotate and extension. External irradiate, internal extension. External irradiate, internal extension. Now I'm going to keep that internal rotation. Flexion, external extension, internal flexion, external extension, internal flexion, external extension, and internal flexion. Now, if you don't feel heat or a muscular fatigue, a burn when you're doing that, hit me up in the comments or ask me on social or whatever. I'm easy to reach, and let's talk about exactly why that's not happening, because it should be, you should be generating heat there. Coffee break, and then let's move on to that left hip. All right. So we're lying down on our sides. Get comfy. Front and back are encased in 2 panes of glass. I like to bend this bottom knee just a tad to give myself a little bit more base than a straight leg would. And I'm going to irradiate and draw that knee up as high as I can. Then abduct, then internally rotate and get back to extension and park that bad boy. Extend, abduct, and I'm turning the bones out. Land that foot, we're back into flexion, and extend the leg. Bring it up, abduct, internally rotate, into extension, park the knees, into extension, abduct, up and around, and park it. That's 2. One more time, flexion, abduction, internal rotation, back to extension, kick and back down, and kick back, open, 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 open. Very nice. All right. So, last but not least, let's throw in the kneecaps also. This is so simple, it's silly, but we want to make sure that your kneecaps can move side to side and up and down or front and back. And if they're not, then we have some direction that we need to go in. Like if my kneecaps don't go down, my quadriceps are probably holding it in place too much. That's a very common byproduct of sitting too much. Test up and down, back and forth. Make sure everything is feeling pretty good. Okay, now let's get into pancakes, okay? Not a stack of pancakes with butter on top, but pancake stretch. And for those of you in the front row, you're gonna get a little show because my shorts are pretty short today. So, hey-oh, there you go. All right, I'm gonna start on a yoga block because that is where I'm actually gonna move this back a little bit so you can see what's going on. I'm gonna turn my mat. There we go, perfect. So if you're on a block, I want you seated on the edge of the block. You could do this from a chair too. It's a higher up position. So I want you as wide as you can get, and you're seated right on the edge of this block. And this is splits, but we're leaning forward, okay? And we're going to start a timer for 2 minutes. And you know your pails rails if you've joined us in class today or before. And so now that I've shown this block option, maybe it's for you, it's not for me. I'm gonna hang out down here, okay? If you want to grab a weight or something, also go grab it now. Like we're gonna be here for a few minutes, and I'm just gonna be talking like I normally do. So I'll start the timer right now, and we're trying to. If you need to get lower as things open up a bit, scoot your hips forward. If you want to grab onto a weight and pull your body down, that's fine. It's going to be easier to come down if your hips are higher, which is why we have the block to sit on top of, but that's for you. I'm just going to kind of use my body weight and hang out on it right here, and we're going to breathe, and we're just going to talk, and we're going to catch up, and find out a little bit about you. So how's your day going? Good? Awesome. I'm glad. Glad you're here joining us. Taking the time to get a little bit better, and that makes me happy. Happy to see you. So when we get to the end of our, just to reiterate what is going to happen here, we're waiting for our Golgi tendon organs, for our muscle spindles, the little organelles that tell our muscles to basically stay tight. They monitor or loose. They monitor change and rate of that change and tension and rate of that tension, that environment. We're getting to the end of the stretch reflex, so we're overriding those organelles to so that we can actually get some work done. And we're going to do a bilateral pails rails effort here. Now, normally we will only do one limb, but we're going to get freaking crazy with it today, and we're going to do both at the same time. So what our pails effort is going to be is heels driving into the ground as much as possible. You can soften your knees up if you'd like. You can keep them locked out if you'd like. That's totally fine. If you feel any pain behind the knees, I will ask you to soften them up. Just get seated behind me. I'm softening, meaning just a slight bend. Um, so our pails effort, progressive angular load, our underside stuff. Pails is going to be trying to make dents in the ground with our heels, okay? Our rails effort is going to be to try to get our feet up to the sky. And it's going to be just awesome. It's going to be a lot of just tasty exploration going on here. So, whew, that's our 2 minutes right there. So here we go. Let's get through it. You should be, a little bit lower than when you started. If you want some, there's not really a great way to base yourself with this unless you're holding on to a weight. So just do your best, okay? And it's not necessary to base yourself. All right, here we go. Round one. Grab the air, pack it down, irradiate. Now, I want you can see my knees slightly coming up off of the mat here in the back and in the front. I'm preparing to not hyperextend my knees by softening just a tad. And I'm driving my heels into the mat 20% of my power. And I want you to find symmetry. I'm a right side dominant athlete. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my torso over just a tad so that my left side is a little more engaged, and I'm coming up to 40% of my power, of my activation into the ground, pushing into the ground. And another way to create tension within the system is I'm squeezing this block. You can push into the ground if you want. You can squeeze your hands together, but I want the whole system on. Ramp it up to 60% of your effort, please. Ramp it up to 80% of your effort. Driving those heels into the ground. Safest, greatest effort, 100% for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rail it, squeeze the top side stuff on your legs, squeeze your glutes, squeeze your quads. Try to float them up. Float for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and relax and just breathe. You don't need soft knees. You can just kind of flop onto the ground and just breathe, okay? Stick your butt back, try to get a longer spine. Maybe you got a few millimeters lower to the ground. Nice and easy. Let's go 3 more big breaths, and then we're going to start on round 2, okay? Oh, we got the chin down now. 1 more big breath. Okay, here we go. Round 2. Remember, you're at the end of your ability with this stretch. I don't want you sitting up farther than you need, higher than you need, because we're always looking for more. And another thing, you don't need to look like me. You look like you, okay? Because if you're watching this, you're going, "Oh my God, Philip, I'll never be that flexible." Don't worry about it, right? You just get a little bit better than you were yesterday, okay? All right. That being said, here we go. Grab the air, pack it down, irradiate. 20%. Soften the knees, drive the heels into the ground. Make sure you got symmetry with how you're driving. Ramp it up to 40%. Squeeze block, squeeze ground, squeeze arms, whatever. Ramp it up to 60%. Ramp it up to 80% of your effort. Safest, greatest effort, 100% for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now rail it. Flex the top side stuff. Squeeze quads. Bring the toes up to the sky. Squeeze your glutes for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, harder, 5, 4, harder, 3, 2, 1, and relax. Holy smokes, do not come out of that position. Don't come out of the position. Just breathe. You got this, you got this. Nice and easy. Oh man, that was intense. All right, if you're not getting to that level of intensity that you want, you know what? That's why we do 3 rounds. A, to drive home the point of creating new space, but also so that you can safely test how much your body can take. Now remember, nothing's gonna pop, you're not gonna blow up. This is some of the safest way to produce force inside the joints that there is because you're not externally loaded, right? You're doing all the work. You're creating all of the resistance. All right, here we go. Last set, best set. Grab the air, pack it down, irradiate 20% of your power into the ground. Make sure you got soft knees. Make sure you have symmetrical power going in. 40% of your power. 60%. Last one, make it your best one. Ramp it up to 80%. Ramp it up to 100%. Safest, greatest effort for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Rail it. Squeeze the top side stuff. Float those legs up off the ground as best you can for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And relax. Don't come out of the position. Don't come out just yet. Wow. A lot going on there. Feel the tissues, the muscle fibers pulling themselves apart from each end of the muscle. That's what's the great thing about this is stretching under tension, creating this. I mean, dynamic stretching is doesn't begin to scratch the surface of what we're actually doing, but we're wiring nerves, we're grooving out more space in the joints. Come on up, sit nice and easy, push yourself up. Oh, and we're lengthening out tissue. And we're laying down more layers of tissue also. Okay, so before we move from this position, what I want you to do is we're going to do some liftoffs and we're going to do some axial rotations. Let's do axial rotations first. So what I want to do is all we're going to do is we're going to take this whole leg. This one's in the front, so I'm going to start with it, right? Whatever, if it's your right or your left leg, I don't care. Just do one of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to engage this tissue, and then I want you to take big toe, and from the hip, you're going to try to get that big toe as close to the ground as possible from this hip capsule. And then we're externally rotating, try to get the little toe as close to the ground as possible. Big toe and little toe. Big toe, little toe. Big toe, little toe. Two more. Big toe, little toe. Big toe, little toe. And I think that's it. Awesome. Now let's gently turn towards the back leg or the second leg, whichever one that is. And I want same thing, big toe. Oh, this one's a little locked up. If you're feeling any kind of asymmetries, if you need more space to work, just lean back a little bit more. So big toe to the ground, little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe, big toe, little toe. Two more. Big toe, little toe, big toe, and little toe. All right, fantastic. Now, here's what I need you to do. We're going to rotate back to that front leg, and we're going to do a lift off. We're going to bring this leg up. We're going to flex the knee, and we're going to set it down. I want you to bring your foot as close to your pelvis as possible. So I'm going to use kickstands, big breath, and flex, lift. Bring it in and set it down. I'm trying not to move my torso as much as I can, as much as possible. But if you need to, that's fine. It's not the end of the world. Okay, so we're going to Kickstands into the ground. Lift, extend. Place it back. Don't throw it back. Place it back. Breath, lift. Rotate and extend and right back down. Big breath. Up and extend. There's 2. Big breath, lift and extend. Big breath, lift. There's 3. Big breath, lift. I didn't lift very well on that last one. There's 4. Lift. Oh, man. Here we go. Oh, Shaka Khan. There's 5. Excellent. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on the other side. I'll say again, make sure you look like you, not like me. Don't worry about that. Maybe you look better than me. You probably do. Good. If you want to make this harder, lean into the leg a little bit more. And millimeters go miles here. Here we go. We got 5 lift-offs. Lift. And land. 1. 2. 3. 2 to go. 4. Shaka Khan. And 5. Okay, so let's bring feet in. We're almost done. And I just want you to windshield wipe right to left. Nice and easy. Reset those tissues. All we've got left are cars. Okay, that's it. We're going to finish with cars. We got we did some pretty deep work on that one set of pails rails. A lot was happening. That's why I like the bilateral stuff, because you can get so much done. Yeah, one more, and awesome. Okay, so let's lay on our left side or right side. It doesn't matter. Just get it done. Right legs work, top legs working. Working that hip car. Externally rotate. We're uploading that new information, saving it to the cloud, saving it to the servers. 1. Irradiate through. 2. And 3. Knees. I'm just going to do this from my back. Grab that thigh. Externally rotate. Internal and extend. And get your 3. Then switch. And then you might as well get your ankle while you're here. 3 big circles. Maybe you're doing 5. You do as many as you want. Do at least 3 though, please. Excellent. All right. Let's flip it over. Oh. Perfect. 1. Knee comes up. abduct. Internally rotate. Park the knees. Extension. 2. Flexion. Abduction. Internally rotate. And 3. Perfect. Turn them back. Grab that thigh. Find that tibial play. Internal extend. External flex. Internal extend. External flex. Internal extend. External flex. Internal extend. External flex. Now keep it external. Go into extension. Internal flexion. External. Internal flexion. 1 more. External. Internal. Perfect. And our ankles. So lock that leg out if you can. Just isolate. Get 3 each direction. Beautiful. All right, gang. That's it for today. Oh, thank you for joining me. You are officially a better person than you were 30 minutes ago. All right, see you next time.